That's the difference. The realism and uncanny amount of truth that is contained within these movies is something that many tend to overlook. Escapism can be fun in 2 hours of mindless entertainment, but there are times when films need to say more regardless of genre. That is a truth that a good portion of audience members have yet to learn. These past few years have been very informative and still to some degree divisive for fans of Zack Snyder and DCU fans. But there is a brotherhood slash sisterhood among the legions who are pushing for the release of Zack Snyder's original cut of Justice League, myself included. The overwhelming response and increasing support everywhere has been tremendous, and it goes to show what having a little love, empathy, and unification can do when it all goes together. These are just some of the things that both Man of Steel and Batman v Superman have inspired among the masses. The honest to God truth is that these movies have had a massive impact on the world around us, and not just in comic book movies, but other shows as well. So ironically enough, Zack Snyder's influence is in more places than certain people would like to admit. Man of Steel was never going to be the hopeful Boy Scout attaboy trooper of the past. We saw something similar back in 2006, and that didn't work. Humanity has always had a feeling of indifference for that which we perceive as different, and this is shown in Man of Steel as Clark begins to do Superman-like things in Man of Steel. Or like we hear in both Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, people are afraid of what they don't understand. This can not only go into how America deals with foreign relations, politics, and how we deal with immigration, but even how some audience members choose to deal with both of these films. Something that I've come to the realization of is that even when a certain individuals say they don't understand a certain scene in Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, is that when myself or someone else explains the scene in depth, it still is seemingly not enough, or quote unquote not how that person would have done it, which goes to show how high the expectations are for a character like Superman. Almost to an unfair degree, we expect Superman to be perfect in an imperfect, violent, tumultuous world. We know how humanity is, yet Superman must somehow always be the exception. But even if the Superman of those comics was a bright symbol of red underwear, Zack Snyder wanted us to understand that even the world's most powerful, indestructible being has a human soul and is flawed just like the rest of Earth, and that realistically he can't save everyone and everything at once, and that nothing is wrong with that. That's the difference. Man of Steel and Batman v Superman also go to show how much of an impact the media has on public perception, regardless of if the information being spewed in the reader or viewer's direction is true or false. This is something that we the individual have to deal with daily, whether or not it comes from CNN or a forum. Sometimes a lie is more appealing than the truth, and even when you get the truth, there are those who choose to not believe it, no matter how factual that truth may be. And when you look at Superman, here is a being who is quite possibly the most fascinating being on Earth. How dare he do so much good and not expect anything in return? Who is he to feel the same emotions we do, even though he was raised here? Even though he is a Kryptonian, but not a Vulcan. But Superman still did what was necessary, even so far as sacrificing himself for the greater good and ensuring humanity's safety, at least until Darkseid's arrival. Even in the midst of him not having a cape and suit in Man of Steel, he always did what was right. One of the infamous lines in the climactic chapter of Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy starts when Batman tells Jim Gordon that, quote, a hero can be anyone, unquote. To me, this same message is very much relevant in both Man of Steel and BVS, but even more so. Anyone can be a hero and inspire hope or good, but anyone is capable of inspiring change among the masses. Chris Terrio and David Goyer approached these films not as pure mindless entertainment, but deciding to go more in depth with the very concept or idea of what being a hero is actually about. We've already seen the threat of another alien deciding to cause a mass genocide slash rebirth of his own planet on Earth. But what happens when the threat or conflict comes directly from the very people you're supposed to protect? Man of Steel and Batman v Superman both place the main character in seemingly difficult to overcome circumstances. And honestly, that's something we've seen in a lot of Zack Snyder's films up to this point, whether it be characters like Superman, Baby Doll, Leonidas, or even a guy like Night Owl. One of life's biggest lessons is us experiencing hardships. Not so much that there will be hardships, because there will be, but what choices you make to overcome them. Even with characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman, the question shouldn't be why aren't they exactly like I pictured them when I read these comics. The real question should be why is it a problem when superhero films have more to say than just boom, 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 pow, added with jokes?